I am a believer in people. I believe in the potential that each person possesses, and I believe we should fight for that potential. I believe this due to, or maybe in spite of the fact, that I've had to overcome my own pain, mistreatment, poor choices, and bad circumstances in order to believe in people. Mine is a story of trust, of continuing to move on, of trying to believe that people are inherently good, that seeking goodness is worth it. I am the oldest of 3 girls, born and raised in a small town in the Appalachian Mountains. We loved each other. We made many sweet memories together, listening to music, exploring trails and rivers, playing in the snow and in the sun. And I know my parents did the best that they could. As my father, loving as he is, struggled his way through a secret life of addiction, and my mother worked 2 jobs to support us, I became the caretaker for my sisters Jessica and Beth from the time I was 9 years old until I was 14. We would come home from school, play Barbies or Nintendo, clean the house, and then I would cook dinner and put us to bed. We became extremely close because of this. My sisters were, and still are, my best friends. Beth still proudly tells people that I raised her, and I'm proud of it too. However, as I got older, I began to resent all of my responsibilities. When my mom got a better job and was then able to be home at night, I was set free to a world of typical teenage rebellion. It was around that time that I also began to fully understand what was happening with my dad. This would be the start of the vicious thread of addiction, lies, and secrets that weave their way through my story more than once and rattled my faith in people. My trust in my family was broken, but I kept moving. School was always easy for me. I loved it, and all of my teachers supported me and had faith in me. I thrived and succeeded and made plans to go to college. I knew it was my way out of the small town that offered little more than drugs. I never had to be pressured to fill out college applications or financial aid forms. I sought them out on my own and arranged my own college visits. I graduated as valedictorian and was admitted to Guilford College on a full academic scholarship. I trusted in myself and my accomplishments and set forth. While there, I began working with the homeless population in Greensboro and discovered my passion for people. I saw mental illness and addiction and military vets and people who were one blink away from someone I could know, being treated without compassion or respect. I felt hopeless and lost. My trust in the system that was supposed to work for anyone who tried hard enough was broken. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I no longer trusted myself. So I left. I moved on. Jay, my future husband, and I took off on a 3-month, 11,000-mile road trip across the country with our 3 dogs in a tiny truck with no air conditioning. We avoided cities and slept in national forests under the stars each night. At a random pit stop in a small town in South Dakota, I happened upon a little bookstore and bought Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. I read that book as we traveled through the very areas that it covered. My heart broke as we drove through sites where my ancestors committed horrific acts of cruelty and violence. After that trip, my trust in our beautiful country was broken, but I kept moving. With a renewed focus, I knew I was meant to help people love and understand each other. After returning to Greensboro, I devoted myself to anti-war protests and working with friends to run a Food Not Bombs chapter, an organization that works to provide meals for the homeless while fighting against war. My friends and punk music, with its anti-racist, anti-sexist, social justice messages, helped me develop a vision for what the world could be, a vision for change. At this point, I knew I needed to do more to be able to help people, so it was time to return to college. I wanted to be able to communicate with more people and travel the world, so I returned with a focus for the first time, majoring in Spanish and education studies. I studied abroad, I thrived, I graduated, I kept moving. Time passed. I began to trust in the world again. I got married and had 2 wonderful children, Audrey and James. I dedicated myself to being a teacher and the best mother that I could be. I was happy. Suddenly, everything derailed when Jay shocked me by sneaking that evil thread of lies and addiction back into my life once again. My trust in my spouse died. Shame and anger and despair engulfed me. I mourned my marriage and the life I thought I would have. I didn't know what to do. But I still had my amazing kids. I needed to show them that you keep going, you keep loving, and you keep learning. You don't give up on people, especially yourself. So I turned that grief into growth. I earned a master's in education and began working as an instructional technology facilitator. It was in this role that I finally found my calling as a leader. I built relationships, and I strove to help teachers use technology as an equalizer, a way to help teachers and students connect with the world and each other. After some time, I realized there is more I can do. There are more people I can help. I can push myself further. That desire brought me here, into school leadership. Yes, I have been hurt and disappointed, and trust has been broken over and over. This world can be fierce and unfair and unjust. But I have to keep fighting. I have to keep believing in the potential of every human. I have to keep trying to learn to trust. Because goodness is all around us. Our children deserve every chance we can give them to live out that goodness. If we are willing to just keep moving, to fight for justice and peace and fairness, our children can do incredible things. We can love, we can care about others, and we can move each other forward. Our students and teachers deserve someone who not only believes that, but will fight for it. No matter how many times I get knocked down, I will continue to fight for that. Goodness is worth it.